Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rikah Kadash. Yahweh been the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shah been the name of His only begotten Son, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Now when you go into the scriptures, you got a bunch of people that was prophesied to be scoffers and scorners against the truth. And these scoffers and scorners, they will be coming up with all kind of fables, philosophies, and vain deceits, which is gonna be pretty much debunked and consumed with the spirit of the Lord's mouth. And through His spirit, we know they're gonna be found to be liars. Now you're going to, in the beginning it says God created man in His image. Now they try to go into talking about the character of God because they don't want to admit that He created man in His image, how He looked, okay? And that these people that look like Him would be the original creation, and everything outside of that would be a more morphin, how they said, mutant. They would be a mutant. See, there would be a mutation from the original. And this is what they don't want to bring out. That these nations, there's certain nations on the earth that are mutations from the original creation that God created. Now, He created all of them. He created even the mutation, but we know what happened in the beginning. And so when you go into one of the famous verses, Revelations, where it talks about Yahushua, to give the description of Yahushua, you got the scoffers, they want to come against the description. And you got mainly those who are the nations that are mutations of the original. They want to come against it. Revelation 1, let me get verse 1. It says, the revelation of Yahushua Amashiach. Now, it says, to show unto His servants things which must surely come to pass. So this is things that Yahushua want His servants to see. I'm going to jump down to verse 10 to get to the point. It says, I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day, and heard behind me a voice as of a trumpet. Okay, so he turned around and heard a voice. He heard a voice that was loud as a trumpet. Okay. And then he told him, he says, saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, and what you see, write in a book. So he told him, whatever you seeing with your eyeballs, write down in a book. Okay. Then to get straight to the point, in verse 12, it says, and I turned to see the voice that spake with me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks. In the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girded about the paps with a golden girdle. Okay. Then it says, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes was as a flame of fire. Now this is when you get these nations that are of the mutation. They start coming up with all kind of philosophies and vain deceits. So when you go into what is it? You go into, is it Daniel? I'm gonna get straight to the point on this one. Psalms 147 and 16. It says, he giveth snow like wool. He scattereth the hair frost like ashes. Okay. And so he compared snow to wool, because this is a perfect comparison. When you look at the snow on the ground, it looked like the wool on top of a sheep. So it's not talking about the color of wool, even though wool is white. It's also talking about the texture of wool. See? Because it's a perfect analogy. It's a perfect comparison. The texture and the color is the same. You can compare snow and wool. It's not just because wool is white. Snow is white. There's many things in the world that's white. But snow has the perfect comparison and the perfect texture, just like wool on a sheep. So this is talking about the texture. That's why when you go into Daniel, let's see, Daniel chapter 7, verse 9, it says, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow. See, it tells you when it's bringing out the color. And the hair of his head like the pure wool. So he let you know, we're not talking about snow, the color of snow. We talking strictly about the wool. And this is what these red dragons mainly, and these other nations are, because a lot of them got mutations coming from these Edomites and albinism and all kind of things. Now when you go into let's see here. Let's see, because I know, what is it? When you go into the locks, I want to get into that. Because it talked about also something that Apostle Paul and certain Israelites was participating in. I think it's in Judges, or it's Numbers, that's what it is. Numbers 6 and 5, it says, all the days of the vow of his separation, there shall no razor come upon his head until the days be fulfilled. And the which he separated himself unto the Lord, he shall be holy, and shall let the locks of his hair of his head grow. So now you have these locks. Now, in order for these this hair to pretty much lock, it's not talking about what you call it, some goat-like hair. It's talking about the hair that they twist up and they can stick together. Because a lot of the time, when these other nations with this goat-like hair try to twist the hair up, it just unravels. They got to put all kind of what you call it, they got to put all kind of beeswax, and they got to tangle it up in all different directions. But see, when you got woolly hair, you can just wrap it up a couple of times and it'll stick together. And it'll try to lock where you can't untwist it. So you see that the Israelites had it in the law, how they would lock, they would have locks, their hair would lock up. It wasn't like these, to be specific, the so-called white men, the East Indian, the Chinese, and the Arabs. It wasn't like their hair. See, they had woolly hair, the women and the men. And so when you go into the scriptures, man, you can clearly see that this woolly hair situation is talking about the so-called Negroes and descendants of slaves who have woolly hair. Now, when you go into it, we had relations with a lot of the women with straight hair, so the children come out with either straight hair sometimes, or it's kind of in between, a thick curly hair. So it's not across the board. But mainly, especially the Southern Kingdom, who wasn't really dealing with these other nations like that, they got woolly hair. And so when you're looking at how these people portray Yahushua and Yahweh, they show him as a man with goat-like hair, which that ain't going to with the scriptures. The scriptures show who had goat-like hair. Let's get that real quick, and I'll end it on that. Genesis 27, and let's see, 27. I'll start at verse 9. It says, and who is this? Rebecca. Rebecca was the wife of Isaac. Now Rebecca, she told Jacob to go now to the flock and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for your father, such as he loveth. Then I'm going to jump down to verse 16 to say, and she put the skins, meaning the hair, of the kids of goats upon his hand and upon the smooth of his neck. Okay. She put the kids of the goats on to Jacob, because she was trying to disguise Jacob as Esau. Verse 23, it say, and he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, as his brother Esau's hand. So he blessed him. Okay? So because Esau was hairy, he had goat hair. He had goat-like, doggy-like hair. This is why the Israelites called these other nations dogs. One of the main reasons because a lot of them got goat, doggy hair. See, and so this just adding on to the fact that the Lord came out, or the Lord has woolly hair. What is that? Genesis 2 and 7. What was it? 2 and 27. Might have been 1:27. Yeah, 1 and 27. It says, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created them, man and female created he them. See, he created them with woolly hair just like himself. That doggy straight goat like hair is a mutation, and it's not let me go ahead and get that. I don't want to just keep saying that. It's a plague upon the hair. What, Leviticus 13 and 30. It says, then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair. That's another thing. The doggy goat hair is thin. See, when people say talk about the woolly hair, they say, oh, my hair is thick. I got thick hair. But this woolly, stringy, doggy, goat-like hair is thin, and it comes out yellow when they have albinism. We know the blonde head is directly and specifically the so-called white men. They come out with blonde hair, certified. Okay? And so this is, we know for a fact that the Lord did not have no blonde hair. He did not have no blue eyes, and he did not have leprosy. He was a certified so-called black man, just like you see in America, and these other nations, serving servitude under the so-called white man in these other nations that got mutations from the original creation that God made. And one of the major mutations is that thin, stringy hair. See, because you can't get no woolly hair out of somebody with two people with straight hair. Both of them got straight hair. Most of the time, that child is not coming out with no woolly hair, man. You got to get that from two people with woolly hair. And so, when you're going into the scriptures, I think Daniel had one more, but I think it talked about skin color more than the hair situation. Yeah, it just said his arms and his feet like into color to polished brass. Okay. And then you had Solomon. Even Solomon talks about him having locks. So the Israelites was not having no straight hair. Majority of them was having woolly hair, just like sheep. That's why he called them the lost sheep and the sheep, because they had hair like sheep, and the other nations had hair like goats. That's why when you go into Genesis 25, Matthew 25, he said he gonna separate them. Matthew 25 and verse 25. Let's see. Yeah, verse 32. 25 and 32, it says, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. He shall set the sheep on his right hand, just like Yahushua, and his goats on the left. See, they're going to be left, and either be left in that lake of fire or left serving slavery and serving the Israelites. Now, yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. All praise to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Hashem Kakadash. Double honor to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, descendants of slaves scattered around the globe on slave ships and through many captivities. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.